Alrighty. I'm sure that's enough. LED spirals from the John Wick 1 soundtrack. We're here with the Elipson Prestige Sub 8. And just for good measure, because people will ask, there's the Martin Logan Dynamo 400. I bought that sub with my own money because I have the 300s back there. They were the base of the stands that I built, the Doom stacks. And I had to know. And it's that sub, that 8-inch sub was $500. That 8-inch sub is $900. Apos sent it out. Apos is carrying this brand Elipson. And I've never heard of them. You've never heard of them. And I needed to assess. So I still have the Klipsch LS60s here, and I was doing a weird thing where I had a separate DAC coming out of the X-Spidiff, so I had these on their own fiber optic, and this was on like an AES, and I was able to control it and mute it separately. I might put it back to that for this review, because currently, I guess you can count this as sort of a continuation of the LS60 review, unless this comes out before the LS60 review, in which case you're all gonna be fucked up. Each one of these speakers has a subwoofer out. They're independent, they're wireless of each other, but they could each take a calf subwoofer. And I don't have any calf subwoofers. So I've added the Elipson to that side and the Martin Logan to that side, and I basically had cranked both knobs. So most subwoofers are very basic. The Elipson here is super, hold on. Let me give you some dirt basic looks. This has volume, crossover, plugs, power. There's not even a phase. There's not even phase on this. Okay. It is a front firing 8 and a down port. You actually have to assemble the base plate. It comes together and there's 4 aluminum cups and you put it together. There's gonna be an unboxing in probably 6 months when the unboxing channel catches up to the current time. So it's a down firing port and a front firing 8. And I had it here for a while, and it was the only sub I had to back up the LS60s. And I'll tell you, as an on its own review, it was able to do that. And that's not even like the right position. Like this spot was just the convenient place to put it. Blech. Place to put it. Place to puss it. Look at the wallpapers too much. The optimal place for a sub in this setup is back here behind the curtain, right there, where that huge motherfucking monster HSU sub is. That's where it is for the 0.1. That's where it still sounds best from the seating position. So putting it there arbitrarily and still having it fill in the low end for $7,000 LS60s, I'm going to grant you this. That is a solid sub. That is not a Dayton. That is not one of those cheap Emotivas. That sub, and it lists only down to 35 hertz. And I'll tell you this much, you're like, oh, Zeos, you know, these $7,000. They have to get like the 40s or at least to the 30s. Why would you even need this? I have not met the speaker that includes audio shows that doesn't need a sub. Because here's the problem. I'm going to give this is going to be like more of an overall before I get to the actual subs. Because you've already seen what the back of that looks like. You can go watch my review of the Dynamo 400 to see the back of that, or I'll probably think, okay. No speaker can work. No matter how, if this did 1 hertz, the problem is there's no guarantee in the world that where you put those speakers, if those contained the subwoofer, that it'd be the right spot. Like I just said, back behind the red curtain in the corner, exact this far away from the wall and perfectly assigned where the concrete corner is, you have to be exactly here, is where the subwoofer sounds best for the listening position. And the problem with tower speakers, I don't care if they're $7,000 or $7,000 or $4,000, I don't care, is they have to go in a position for you to listen to them, which doesn't necessarily make them the position where the subwoofer would sound good. So having a sub attached, in this case it's literally attached, to a tower, or have the tower speaker be responsible for those low frequencies, doesn't not just always work. I don't think it ever works. How's that? How many times have you done the sub crawl and the perfect position for your sub is directly under both of your front speakers? Zero fucking times has that happened. If you don't know what the sub crawl is, since this is a subwoofer video, and I got to do that sub, which is a little baby OSD that I bought. It's a 10-inch. That's actually bigger than both of these. It was like $89 or $150, and then that HSU has to get rolled back in to be reviewed. So it's gonna be sub week here on Z Reviews. I'll give you the sub crawl thing. When you throw a rock into a pond and it makes the ripples, and the ripples go out and they hit the shore, and then they sort of come back out and you see it and they reconverge. The sub crawl is that, but instead of water, it's air. And instead of a rock, it's fucking bass. So what you do to make the sub crawl happen, and you could all do this at home, it's free, except if you have to buy a really long cable. You take said subwoofer, you put it exactly where your head would be. This is easier with these little 8-inch subs like the Elipson here. Harder with the HSU that weighs 115 pounds. But you put it not just generally on the floor in the area, you have to put it like right where your fucking face is going to be. Put that sub where your head's going to be. Move the couch, put a stand, whatever you got to do. And then, like a dog, you crawl around on all fours, because usually subwoofers have to be on the floor. I'm a psychopath, so the subwoofers, when I was doing the sub crawl, instead of just crawling around, I was kind of doing one of these, one of those. And here, up 3 feet, is where this rhythmic sub is, because it's perfect for my home theater. The listening position for that sub, for these seats, is 3 feet off the ground. Actually, it's to the middle of the sub is where it actually was good. So it's more like 4.5 feet off the ground over there. If you're not willing to put your subwoofer in the sky, you obviously don't care about audio. There it is, I said it. Get out. Okay, so now back to the actual subwoofer at hand. The Elipson. Way, way too basic a control panel on the back. Even the Dynamo, at nearly half the cost, has at least a phase switch, the power, a separate power switch that has auto mode. You've got your speaker line ins, like just a little bit more. Also, there's a waifu on the back of it, because of fucking course there is. So, Elipson is new, but we'll give the Elipson the benefit of the doubt. They certainly have the technology to make the sub sound good. Like, it sounds fucking good. I like the layout of the Martin Logan better. It is a down-firing... Well, I just picked the fucking thing up. Weighs nothing. Put that down on top of the speaker. Don't fuck it up, though. Down-firing inverted phase surround slot port. There's the entire sub. Congratulations. In fact, they didn't do that on purpose. Okay, you're good. Go back to where you are. Now, this sub here, which I think I'm actually going to physically unplug. Oh! A little bit heavier than the Martin Logan, I gotta say. Oh, shit. This is definitely the worst thing I've ever done. Hold on a second. Let there be light. So, the Elipson here has a very interesting thing. It's got a very thick rolled hard surround on the front. But around it, you see this pattern, and that is a soft silicone to break up the waves. So this is an actual waveguide made out of like a rubbery material with perforations in it. It's like dimpled. And then you have the shiny black front, which I'm not a huge fan of shiny black. Rounded edges, basically standard vinyl. We bounce this thing around. This is how all reviews, so all sub reviews are gonna go from now on. Could even do the big son of a bitch up here, because this ball will hold 3,000 pounds. Zeos, link to the hi-fi ball. All right, I'll stop bouncing it. You know, it's got nothing going on back here. 150 watts, which is fine. For an 8-inch that isn't like a Sunfire or one of those really insane ones, like the SVS 3000, the Micro 3000 is up in my office, and it's got 2 8-inches, and it's got some ungodly amount of power. Is it 3,000 watts? I don't know. That sub is cheaper than this sub. All right? This is not an easy sell. APO said they were sending it to me. I saw it online. I'm like, okay, cool, an 8-inch sub. And it's like, oh, fuck, $900. So AC input is a standard figure 8. Literally, power, LFE or right. You got a little status light. Crossover goes from 150 to 40. It does have very nice feeling volume knobs. They are notchy. Like it actually goes click, 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 click. And that feels quality. But there's nothing left of the sub. Double insulation. The port is down here. Here are those aluminum things you have to put together. It is a nice flared port, so it avoids chuffing. My biggest problem with a lot of subs is chuff, which is when the sound goes, no one likes that. So let's move you back. where you belong. I didn't put the feet on it so I could slide it around the floor a little better. Plug you in. Plug you into the LFE. It's a good sub. That's the thing. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up for performance. For 8-inch sub, it's fine. It is better than fine. In fact, look, it even has a grill. It's magnetic. That can go over and cover it. But I knew when I got... There, it worked. I'm about to say, do the magnets break? How do magnets break? How do they work? For an 8-inch sub, get out of the way. If you have way too much money to spend, buy it. Buy it. Support APOS, support this company that is coming out with things. Here are their speakers. I'll do the Elipson speakers soon. I haven't listened to them yet. Hoping that they're worth their price. But the problem being, in the subwoofer world, unless you're doing something fucking crazy, you can't stand out. It's not a servo sub. It doesn't have anything besides that surround to make me like go, ooh. And while it can back up LS60s, I'm pretty sure if I would just hook up the Dynamo 400, that would also back up LS60s. And I'm pretty sure if I got up to my office and brought down the fucking SVS Micro 3000, that would also back up LS60s. So those are 3 subwoofers, all using very small drivers of descending price, but not performance. There's a reason that subwoofer is still here and I haven't sold it. It's too good. It's way better than an 8. That subwoofer used to be in the corner alone with bricks on it to hold it from bouncing around on the fucking floor. No lie. No lie. I literally had to weigh the fucking thing down because it would just... That's how much that tries. Now, I haven't put this in the 0.1 position, but I bet you it would do the same thing. Actually, it'd probably be less likely because it's front firing and has a much bigger base. But, so... Even if I put these on equal terms, that's fucking impressive. The problem being that's $400 more, and I don't see the cost in it. It has less inputs in the back. You don't even get a speaker wire pass through. So it doesn't have an app. It's not like if it had an app and did DSP room correction or something, then I could see the cost coming into it. I don't. And then the SVS Micro comes into perspective. And SVS, they're a brand that makes nothing but subwoofers. It is okay to mismatch a subwoofer to your speakers. Like, just because these are KEFs, and you're like, oh, KEF makes a sub, you want to buy it? Don't worry about it. Because you know what? Low end, from 1 hertz to wherever you're going, 45, 50, 30, any sub will do. Get the fucking Rhythmic, roll it on over here. Get a 12-inch version of the Rhythmic. There is so much competition. I kind of knew if I did that Elipson sub on its own, I was going to combine it with the speakers and just be like, by the way, the Elipson, I got to single this out because this is a discussion we need to have. When there's such a wild, like I'm going to do this little 10-inch, this OSD, and you know what? It weighs nothing, or I'm really strong, but it's got a 10-inch and it's ported, and it costs like under $200, and my cats are using it as a scratching post. And if that's all you can afford, it's better than nothing. Any subwoofer is better than nothing, even shitty Polk subwoofers. But once you start spending money, you really need to get the price to performance, like there's a minimum line. That does an amazing job for $500. I'm sorry, let me correct that. That does an amazing job for an 8-inch sub. At $500, you can go to SVS and probably get a 10. Or you can go to Dayton and get a fucking probably 15. You can take the money and the size and you could be like, well, I can do this. That is a better quality sub than those Daytons, but you can get so much bass for that amount of money. So now if you up it to $900, now it's starting to make, like, you'd have to be very drunk at a bar to be like, well, you know, it's called an Elipson, and my granddaddy, he once fought in the Elipson Wars, so I'm gonna buy it. Like, $900 buys you a fucking lot. The HSU 15 that's over there, that is the gargantuan, is only $1,100. So I can't sit here and be like, well, you should all buy this sub because, you know, APOS is nice. And they're great. I love APOS and they send me things, but this is one of those things that I'm just like, no one's going to buy it. Its performance is great, equal to that. But even at that, You can get so much more sub for $500. These are only for people who have to have the smallest, the little babiest of things. Like it's so tiny. It's so small. If you need to have small, you're going to buy one of these two. Or you're going to buy the SVS, which will outperform both of these. Only a little bit more money than that, and a little bit less money than this. You get the SVS Micro. All three linked in the description, by the way. But it's like, if you have the space to go gargantuan, you have options. If you are limited to a size, if you're in a cubicle, or if there's a significant other, doesn't matter, male or female, that's like, don't you fucking dare put a giant subwoofer anywhere near my living room. Then you're stuck. And you're gonna be looking at something like that, which, by the way, I will say this, Martin Logan, Black Cube. That, currently Black Cube, comes in a wood grain or pure white. But so does the SVS. That also comes in pure white. This is a great excuse to use that wallpaper. Isn't it cute? Get it in the wallpaper hoard. Anyway, I'm done. Subwoofer performs like fucking super admirably. Super admirably. I had played one song in a subwoofer review. You guys must hate me. Hold on. My problem is like where's Pacific Rim? Let's turn up the volume while it's paused. And we'll unpause this. Yeah, that's almost too much bass. It's just two little eighths. It's just two little eighths. And when it was just the 1/8 there, it filled in perfectly. So like talking about the performance of the sub is almost irrelevant at this point because it's she monochrome. It's great. It does a great job. It's so much money. And no, raise your hand in the comments if you'd actually like seriously consider, if you've never made a YouTube comment in your life, but like, you know what, Zeos, this ELIPSON brand, it sounds interesting. I like it. I'm gonna buy it. Who's gonna buy it? Because this is a hard sell, and therefore I'm just gonna not try. Because it's like it can't. It can't. Everyone's like, Zeos, you're a shill, you like everything. I do like it. But price to performance is my bitch. And that's cheaper. And the SVS is a little more, actually the SVS, I don't know, is it 700? I think it's 700. SVS dual with like fucking million watts is cheaper. And has like an app. It's just, no. That's Bruce Willis, by the way. The actor Bruce Willis has an album that's amazing. If it don't kill you, it must make you stronger. That's the name of the album. Go listen to Bruce. Hold on, listen to Bruce Willis. This is not an AI fake. I'm sure shit like this is like in 5 years, no one's gonna believe it. Like Bruce Willis, no, it's AI. Ah, goddamn. Did I find the one track he doesn't actually sing in? Fuck. I like making reviews, even if I don't try to sell you something, to explain things, and also to introduce you to new music. Now, where's Bruce Willis? Yeah, it's Bruce. Okay, I'm done. I'll link to this on 8Post. Check them out. The other ELIPSON stuff, they have tower speakers, they have bookshelf speakers, like those self-powered ones there. You are self-powered. Yeah, you got the little remote. They have a bigger sub. They have a 10, which is more money. So again, it's like now it's a 10-inch. It's $1,100, and then there's so much more you could buy. Yeah, I basically think unless you are making something exceptionally weird and somehow exceptionally like great value subs, that's what I'm looking for. That 10-inch OSD, I haven't put it down here like the real test spot. It's been upstairs just breaking in. If that works as well as it's built, which is made out of shitty carpet, but it's like the Yamo subs. You can get the 12-inch Yamo subs that I love for $100 and $200 now. The price went back up. That means for the price of that, you could have 4 12-inch subs. Again, if you can't fit 4 12-inch subs and you have to buy something small, well, you're still going to buy something else. So anyway, I'm done. Patreon, subscribe, star, support this fucking honesty. Because guess what? I'm not making any money in the affiliate link to that. So if you'd like to keep me honest, Patreon and Subscribestar, $5 a month. You get to see these reviews early. Now that I'm doing weekly releases, some of those early things are like 2 weeks because it just sits there. Because I'm only trying to release 2 or 3, maybe 4 a week, and I'm making 6. So you're going to have some of these reviews for a while. So you get to see reviews early, participate in yard sales. I'm pretty sure APOS is going to want that back, and I ain't selling that. I might sell the 10-inch thing, even if it's great, because it's like, well, you know what? That's so cheap. You're going to bid $80. I don't know. I'm going to be stuck with all this shit. Please check out the yard sales. 1st to the 10th of every month. I ship for free, United States and Canada. Bidding starts at $0 usually, and if you're international, it's half shipping. So if you live in Bangladesh and you want to buy a set of speakers, as long as you're willing to pay half of the $270 fucking shipping cost, it's yours. And the third thing is sound demos. These CAF LS60s will be sound demoed. Those AirPods will be sound demoed. The big Clipsers will be sound demoed, and the sound demos are only available privately now. That allows me to play any music I want, including Bruce Willis, and put up whatever wallpapers I want, including, well, you'll find out. Yeah, so those are the 3 benefits of the $5 tier. $10, behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat where you can ask me questions directly. Like, Zeos, why are you such a cool guy? Can I get your same clothes? I want to wear it. You could do that. Or you could talk to other people about things. You could ask me questions directly. And once you're in the $10 chat, you get into a lifetime swap meet channel where you can buy, sell, and trade gear. If you don't like something you bought, you put it in there, and someone will probably buy it for usually a good chunk of what the retail was, because they're selling something too, so they can buy new things. So it's all just a big, like, audiophile scissoring in there. Check out Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. I don't push that enough. Check out the sponsor link that's in the description. Even if this video isn't personally sponsored by anybody, there's a sponsor link that changes every once in a while. And if you click it, it might take you someplace new. Maybe it's a coffee company or a baby disposal unit. I don't know. They sell those somewhere. Elipson, good talk. That sub should be $375, and then I would be like, okay, it's equal to that and worth it. $900? Nah, dog. Nah. So before I end this Elipson sub, I set this up, the OSD, and I went to go look it up, and I found this for $900. It is a 15-inch EQ'd, DSP'd, app-controlled, triple driver. There's 3 15s. I'm not sure if they're all powered, if one's powered and these 2 are passive, but look, like, and there's 20% coupon, and it's the same cost. How are you competing when that exists? And it's and is it prime shipped, delivered Thursday? It's like a week and a half away. But fuck me, I kind of want, and look, they make a 12-inch for $600 and a 10-inch for $500 and an 8-inch for $400. I got to mention this again when I talk about that, which now that's disappeared and it's $400 instead of $200. But fuck, there's your holy shit sub with an app and EQ curves